In this video, we'll be creating a Joint Commission inspection for sprinkler. You'll need these EPs here, and this is what the EPs will look like. You've got EP1, which is your supervisory signals. You may have that if you have a dry system. You may have a fire pump running, fire pump supervision, loss of phase, all that. It's a quarterly test of the supervisory signals. You may need EP1. EP2, you're generally going to need that for flows and tampers if you're doing a quarterly inspection. Now, this is a semi-annual inspection, but many people are still doing it quarterly, so if you're doing flows and tampers, you need to choose EP2. You will not need EP3 or EP4. EP5 you may need if you're testing the DACT, which is the communication. If you're not, do not select EP5. EP6 is your electric fire pump under no flow condition monthly inspection. You can choose EP6 for that if you're doing a electric fire pump monthly. If you're doing a diesel fire pump weekly, choose EP6 also. Now EP7 and 8 are for water storage tanks. If you don't have that, you won't be selecting those two. EP9 and 9A are main drain tests. Main drain is an annual inspection. Many still do it quarterly, and you will need to do it quarterly if there's a backflow preventer, which basically is the sole water supply to the sprinkler system. So you'll need to test that very first system closest to the backflow. EP10 is for fire department connections, which is a quarterly inspection. EP11 if you're doing a full flow water fire pump, and that's a full flow test. That's an annual inspection. Now EP12 says standpipe systems tested with water flow. EP12 is a 5-year inspection, not to be confused with your annual, semi-annual, quarterly, monthly, daily, weekly. None of that will fall under EP12. EP12 is only for your 5-year flow test. When you're doing a standpipe system monthly and quarterly and weekly and annually, you only need to have the standpipe system in there, and you will not be testing the full flow. We go down farther to EP17, which is the last possible one you would be using as a sprinkler inspector, and it's fire hoses. If you don't have fire hoses, you will not be using EP17. That's pretty much it for the EPs themselves. Now let's get into creating an inspection. But first I want you to take a screenshot of this. I'll pause for a few seconds, take your screenshot. You can pause this video, then take the screenshot, save it, so you'll always have this EP list with you. Not to mention, the list is great for choosing your EPs, but it also lets you know the frequency of that test and the code that was a reference for this. For NFPA 25, it's 2011. All right, we're going to move on to actually performing or creating an inspection. Now at this point, we've got our inspection set up. We're going to create or join an inspection. We're going to search for an inspection that we want to test. If you know the building name or you know the address, select that. I'm going to select the Joint Commission inspection down here. And now if I want to add a work order number, I'm going to put that in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to add that. There's my work order number. I'm going to select next at the top right. Now I'm not going to choose sprinkler inspection. I'm not performing a sprinkler inspection. I'm performing a Joint Commission sprinkler inspection. So I'm going to select Joint Commission. I'm going to select EP1 because I do have a dry system. I'm going to select EP2 because I want to do my flows and tampers. I'm not going to select EP5 because I'm not testing the communication on this particular inspection. And I'm not going to choose EP6 because I'm not performing a fire pump monthly or weekly. I'm not going to choose 7 or 8 because I don't have a water tank here. I am going to choose EP9 because I am going to do a quarterly main drain test for this particular customer. I'm going to choose EP10 because I need to do my fire department connections, right? I'm not going to choose EP11 because I'm not doing a full flow annual fire pump test. And EP17, I'm not going to choose that either because I don't have any fire hoses. But I am going to choose NFPA 25, which I will choose on every inspection that I'm doing in Joint Commission for sprinkler, no matter what EPs I'm choosing, because I do need my NFPA 25 questions. I'm going to select next at the top, and I'm going to verify that I have everything I need. I've got EP1 for my supervisories, EP2 for my flows and tampers, 9 for my main drain, and 10 for my fire department connection, as well as NFPA 25 for my non-EP questions. I'm happy with this. I'm going to select Create. Now once this inspection is created, it brings us to this screen here. I'm going to go to the top left menu, which is the 3 lines. I'm going to select my devices. As you can see here, I have an air compressor, an air maintenance device. Those are not EPs, but because I chose NFPA 25, they will be there for me. I've got my antifreeze system, I've got control valves, and you'll notice on the deluge system, I have a deluge system with 53 questions, and that's for NFPA 25 questions. The deluge valve, the 0 of 10 questions, those are my main drain questions. So that's why I have 2 systems there. I have the system and the valve. Same thing with dry pipe. I've got a dry pipe valve and a dry system. I need both of those. One under NFPA 25, the dry system, and one dry pipe valve for my main drain questions. Same thing with easy riser or shotgun system, easy riser shotgun valve. I'll need those. Electric bell is an NFPA 25 requirement, and that will not reside inside of an EP. My fire department connection for EP10 is there. My fire pump supervision, EP1. And I've got gauges and high pressure water alarm switch, which will fall under EP2. Hose cabinet and hose valve outlet. Those are standpipe questions, but as you see, I don't have a standpipe 12 or EP12 in here because I'm not doing a full flow standpipe inspection. But I can scroll down here to standpipe, and you'll see that I have a standpipe system. The standpipe system and standpipe valve. Now normally you don't have a standpipe valve because there's no main drain questions, but if you do, you would choose a standpipe valve for your main drain questions. But standpipe system, you'll need that for NFPA 25. And you'll notice there's no standpipe and hose system because that is EP12. We go farther down, there's supervisory air pressure switches. We need that. And we've got control valves and tamper switches and water flow switches, water motor gong, and we've got a wet pipe valve and a wet system. Those two, again, are needed. The valve for the main drain questions and the wet system for your NFPA 25 questions. And that's it for creating a sprinkler Joint Commission inspection.